James Alex Fields Jr., center with Black Shield, in Charlottesville, VA, on Saturday. Matt Dyke for the New York Times. Charlottesville, VA. The man suspected of ramming his car into a crowd here, an attack that the authorities said left one person dead and 19 more injured, was denied bail during his first court appearance in a downtown courtroom on Monday. You are charged with a number of felonies, including murder and malicious wounding, Judge Robert Downer told the man, James Alex Fields Jr., who was not in the courtroom but was seen on a small video screen sitting with his shoulders slumped in front of a dark cinder block wall and a filing cabinet. A statement by city officials said Mr. Fields, 20, was the driver of the Dodge Challenger that on Saturday drove into a group of counter-protesters, after a rally of white nationalists in a city park spun out of control, resulting in melees in the streets. On Monday, outside of the building, a man identified as a white nationalist by the Southern Poverty Law Center and another apparent supporter of the cause stood amid a knot of television cameras and vowed to return to the city. Judge Downer said he would not grant bond to Mr. Fields, at least until he met with a court-appointed lawyer, Charles Weber. Mr. Fields answered Judge Downer's questions simply, saying, "Yes, sir," and "No, sir." Mr. Fields told the judge he worked at Securitas, a national firm that employs more than 88,000 security officers. A financial disclosure form shown to the court said he made $650 every 2 weeks. "Do you have any ties at all to this community?" Judge Downer asked. "No, sir," Mr. Fields said. Over the weekend, the Justice Department opened a civil rights investigation into the attack, and on Monday, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said it met the legal definition of an act of domestic terrorism. Mr. Fields, who officials said was from Ohio, expressed radical views in the past, according to acquaintances who recalled him yelling about Hitler or racial slurs. The United States Army said that, in 2015, he participated in basic training but failed to meet the standards required for another assignment. This weekend, according to the Toledo Blade, he told his mother he was planning to attend a rally in Virginia. On Saturday, Mr. Fields was photographed standing with a group of demonstrators who appear to be associated with Vanguard America, a group with an online manifesto that envisions a nation exclusively for the white American peoples. The group has since distanced itself from Mr. Fields. That morning, the streets of this college town erupted in violent clashes after white nationalist groups arrived to hold a noontime rally, one of a series in recent months that groups affiliated with far-right ideologies have held since the city council voted earlier this year to take down its statue of Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general. Police officers with riot gear and tear gas dispersed the crowds shortly before the rally's scheduled start, leaving demonstrators angry and Charlottesville reeling. It turned even more violent when the car, which the authorities said was driven by Mr. Fields, sped into other cars amid a group of counter-protesters, sending people flying and killing Heather D. Heyer, 32. Mr. Fields left the scene, in reverse, but was later arrested. Also on Saturday, the crash of a state police helicopter that had been monitoring the protests left 2 troopers, Lt. H.J. Cullen and Burker M.M. Bates, dead. On Sunday, residents left bouquets at a makeshift memorial for Ms. Heyer. But even as downtown returned to business, tensions fled. Jason Kessler, the organizer of the white nationalist rally, was drowned out at his own news conference by demonstrators chanting "Shame, shame." An anti-racism rally that continued nearby occasionally devolved into shouting matches between supporters and opponents. Those tensions spilled into Monday, as Matthew Heimbach, an Indiana man who is active in white nationalist groups, appeared outside of the complex where Mr. Fields made his video appearance. In front of cameras, Mr. Heimbach blamed Saturday's violence on the police and counter-protesters. As he spoke, bystanders chanted, "Nazis, go home, we'll be back in Charlottesville," Mr. Heimbach said. "We will stand here. We will stand everywhere." Horst Spencer contributed reporting.